Hi, and welcome back to the Baddie and Blessed podcast.
I'm your host, Nancy.
And I'm Marianette. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment.
And to turn on your notifications because you do not want to miss a single episode.
Okay, baddies, let's get into it. I'm liking the looks.
Yes, I am.
I feel like this is giving date night. It's giving somebody to take us out on a date.
I feel like this has unlocked a whole new side of Nancy.
Yeah, it's giving Morticia is out and about. Morticia said, Gomez, you can stay home and take care of the kids. I'm going to be outside.
That's right. I just got a divorce vibes.
Yeah. Like your billionaire. Yeah. I like it. So we need to go out on a date.
We should go after this somewhere.
Yeah. Okay, well, since we're talking about that, let's talk about dating.
Dating, okay.
You know, because I'm trying to... No, I wouldn't say I'm trying.
She's not trying at all.
I've attempted to get back out there, but every time I'm leaning towards it, they scare me back inside. So, let's talk a little bit about that.
Dejen de espantar a mi amiga.
No me andan asustando, por favor. So, have you ever been guilty of shreking? Shreking.
Like, what does that mean?
Like Shreking.
Dude, it sounds like shrinking. That's what it sounds like to me.
Pues, más o menos. Ahí andas, you know, a little bit. Estás calientito.
Okay. So if we're talking about dating, and I thought it sounded like shrinking, it would be like making yourself less for your partner.
Yeah, you're right on it. So, you know, because I've been doing a lot of shadow work and trying to identify my patterns, my dating history and stuff like that, I came across this term that Gen Z is using right now that is shreking. Comes from the movie Shrek.
Shrek and Fiona.
Yeah. So apparently...
Wait, you get your ugly guy?
You get... Ding. So basically, that's what it means, that people right now are settling for less, or they're dating below their standards.
By people, you mean women?
I mean, it's not specified. It's not specified in the research that I did. So I guess, like, I don't know. We'll have to go outside and interview some Gen Z people. If there's Gen Z people watching, are you...
My sister.
Yeah, are you familiar with the term shreking? Have you done it? Do you know anybody that has done it? Basically, it means that you settle for less than what you're attractive to in the hopes that that person is going to treat you right and they're going to value you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's what the kids are doing nowadays.
Okay. Now, we're talking about looks, or just in general, like settling for, like you said, less than what your standard.
Yeah, like below you're dating below your standard, or below what you deserve.
Physically, emotionally, financially, and all that encounter.
Yeah, well, you know what? I feel like when you really think about it, there's a lot of us shreking out there. You know?
The last episode we talked about the little notes, and that one note stuck in my head so hard. Yes, that, you know what I'm talking about?
I feel like I do.
Help!
That one we talked about a lot?
Yes, okay. The one where not that one. The one where she said help, like
la costumbre.
¿Cómo decía? No me acuerdo. I wish I
had. ¿Por qué la costumbre es tan difícil?
There we go. Like yes. ¿Por qué la costumbre es tan difícil? That note,
it haunted you
all week. Like, I was thinking, and I was like, obviously, I don't know who the person is, but I wanted to just have a conversation. So if you're watching it, because I know you are, because you were there, DM me personally. I want to talk to you, girl. I'm pretty sure I don't know who you are, and I don't know the story, but me quedé así como que, and this is just bringing it right back up, because, like, I feel like maybe the shreking starts with that, and then it turns into...
Well, you start shreking and then you end up in that situation.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's what we're going to get into it.
That's
because
what I'm saying.
I feel like when I started thinking about it, I'm like, oh my God, I've been shreking my entire dating life. Like, what? But when it comes to looks, not so much, you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't say looks.
Yeah, honestly. I wouldn't say looks. But I have definitely settled for less than what I want and less than what I deserve in other forms, not so much in looks. Because he's a good man, Saban.
He's a good man.
But is he?
Would you consider controlling shreking?
If the person is controlling, or if you're controlling?
No, the other person.
So, like, your significant other is controlling, and you feel like that's Shreking?
Yeah. Do you think that's Shreking? Because I can think of that with one ex. He was a good guy. Everything else was fine, but he was very controlling. He was much older than me, so that could have been a lot.
Yeah.
Like, this was in my 20s. He was almost in his 40s. Por eso terminé.
Yeah.
Because the control was like, where are you at? You don't have a job. Yo te voy a like, it was like, let me keep you in this bubble. Go from your parents' house to my house. No necesitas trabajar. Yo te voy a mantener. But then te van a llenar de hijos, and then you're like there. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I ended that
just
relationship.
Trying to trap you. Like, I hate when people say, if God sent me this child, then
So
I need to keep it or stay with this person. First of all, no, you had sex and you had a baby. That's how that happened. Because unless you're the Virgin Mary, you had to have done something for that baby to have come. So,
right.
that's besides the point. Something is wrong with you guys. Like, you guys have generational Shreking
trauma.
But it reminded me of that when you said that. I think that, yes, I would say control is, maybe it's not like a part of Shreking because it wasn't like, it's more so like initially you say like, this person is not ideally the person I would want to be with. So I'm just going to overlook those things.
For now, yeah.
Like, I know for me, very like early in the relationship, I saw little habits that I did not like in looking for a partner. I don't like men that drive reckless. I think it's very irresponsible to do that. I don't like people that just throw out their trash
in the window. Oh my God, that's such a pet peeve, dude. And so many people do that. And it's like normalized.
I mean, the list is long, but just I'm saying, like, just behaviors like that maybe in the moment you're like, it's not that big of a deal. And I think a lot of the times we fall into the place of the delusion of thinking that eventually you can talk them into changing those bad habits. So I think that that's more so like for me in the areas that I've shreked in, not so much in looks. I mean, I have dated some ugly guys. I'm gonna say ugly, considering like the standard, that, or maybe when people found out, they would be like, "You and him? Really? Okay." But
I hate that.
I will say, I mean, I don't necessarily. I mean, obviously, looks are important, but I've never really dated somebody for their looks. It's more so like the way that they make me feel and the way that I like that we get along. And I will say, like, I can think of two individuals that, if we're talking about looks, I could understand why people would say, "Really, you and him?" But those two people also used to make me laugh a lot. Like, I would just have a really good time with them. Like I just love being around them because they would make me laugh. We could talk about anything. We can like tease each other. It was like almost like a friendship life.
And you could be yourself.
And I could be, and also the adult activities.
Chef's kiss.
It's like they feel like they have something to prove,
Well, they do.
I mean, they sure did.
And we get the benefits of that. And that's
hey,
okay.
You know what? If you got something to prove, I'm here to listen,
I can verify for you. Yeah, you can put me on your resume.
Yeah. You need a reference letter?
Aquí estamos.
Yeah.
That's funny. I thought I was at first. I'm not gonna say the timeline.
No, let's not. Because people starting to put two and two together about things.
And we don't need y'all to be putting nothing together. No names.
Unless you're gonna pay for the realty.
I need to see the sponsorship drop in my bank account now. Bling. Yeah. In the meantime, I felt like I was because of the background of this human, right? And I did get the same response that you got, and you're like, really? You?
Yeah. You think it was based on looks?
I don't necessarily think it was based on looks because I actually got the opposite when it came to the looks. It was their past life experiences. It was a little like that doesn't align with who the virtuous, or like I can come out very conservative. Yeah. This look is not giving that. But I'm usually like, a little uptight. So it was kind of like, oh, that that doesn't match.
So you're saying that people thought you were Shreking?
Yes.
Okay.
Because of the background of this human. And I was like, You know?
But people actually told you that.
Yeah.
Some people are bold.
People did. And they weren't like right away off the top.
Mm-hmm.
But they did say, así como tú dices, you? Really? You? Like, you?
Yeah.
You would go for that? And I was like, oh my God. People, pinches opiniones.
Well, I'll tell you this though. I've had two situations, like we said, we're not gonna say timelines, but I've had two situations where I've been told about this, about me and being involved with these people.
Okay, wait, pause. The other one was also because no era nacido aquí, right? And no hablaba, like, he obviously spoke very well English, but there was that like barrio vibe, and it was also the same, like, Nancy, what are you doing? And so,
like, they thought you were too bougie for him or something.
And I was just like, but it's not just about that. Some people have street smart, some people have book smart,
some people have both, and that's what I'm looking for.
So it did happen twice. Now that I think about it,
yeah. For me, I feel like I had people tell me you could do better. You could do so much better. Here's a twist. It was coming from their family. So if the family tells you you could do better, believe them, because it was true.
I did get it from one of the family members, from one of those two, the sister, and we were
sisters. The sisters.
Them sisters be speaking truth.
I don't know. Not all the time.
Not all the time. Well, she was drunk.
Okay.
And I was not that drunk. I was pretty tipsy, but she had gotten fucked up. We were in the Uber, and she just looked at me and she goes, "Why are you with my brother?" And I was like,
"It's that question. Like, why are you with my brother?"
When you feel you
don't know him like I know him.
You pass your saliva and it's like a heavy long the sweat's coming out. She's like, well, you know what? If y'all don't make it, I know it's not you. It's my brother.
It's always a man.
So. I said, oh my God, sister.
Yeah. Well, to me, actually, I almost had like an intervention
by the family.
But it wasn't planned, or at least not that I'm aware of.
We needed a tequila shot.
Yeah, we needed a tequila shot for that. It was a family gathering, and the men would hang out together, the women together, whatever. We're just hanging out,
getting cornered.
Yeah, we're just like, the girls are all inside, the sisters and the sisters-in-law, the in-laws, and we're all hanging out, right? And I don't even remember what we were talking about, but this part of the conversation, like, I remember it so vividly, because one of the sisters said, I just don't understand why you're with him. And I was like, me? Him? They're like, yeah, like, everybody was like, yeah, we don't get it. Like, you're this, you're that, like, hyping me up, right? Hyping me up.
Girl.
And I was sitting there thinking, first of all, I was madly in love with this person. I was very inexperienced. And I was trying to defend my relationship to his family. And I remember, I guess I must have looked so, like, stressed out, that one of them said, you guys, like, leave her alone. There's going to come a time where she's going to see it. And sure enough, that time came. But I remember saying, like, I just think you guys don't know him like I know him. And one of them was like, mija, I used to change his diapers. I know him. He's like my son,
She said, I mean,
they were right. They were right, They were right. And then the other situation, they were also right. It was just one, and it wasn't a intervention type, but I think that it was one of the first times where we spent, like, alone time. And she was, I don't know what she felt like, maybe this is the opportunity, but she was like, I think that you could do better. And she was right. The truth. But, like we talked in the other episode last time, you were a smart girl until you fell in love. Y te pendejas, and, you like, this doesn't matter that much. So I think in that sense, like, yeah, I have Shrek. Look-wise, not so much, because I've dated some very good-looking men.
Get it, girl.
I have dated some very good-looking men. I've dated some not so good-looking men, but they provided really good entertainment. So that's what I think, like, where I'm at. But when we think and we talk about this and we think about it, it all stems from fear.
Yeah.
You know, it stems from, and also cultural background pressure that we may get because, you know, for example, like we're a certain age, you know, I'm pushing a certain decade, and it's almost like
se te está yendo el tren,
está yendo el tren.
The typical,
you know?
I hate that.
O te vas a quedar sola, like, or even just like, you know, like I was telling you, like how so many men that I come across, like, find a way to ask me, like, if I have a husband, and when I say no, they're almost like, but why? Like they just don't get it, right? And I know, of course.
Todo esto, ¿cómo
todo
no va a tener?
Esto y todo esto,
¿Cómo
y
no
todo
va a tener?
esto.
I mean,
I know, I get it. But they see it almost as a failure on the woman if you don't have a husband or a man or a relationship.
It's
and
like, what's wrong with you?
Right.
Because clearly there's nothing wrong with the man. I'm sorry.
Well,
what?
they don't, their brains can't process that far ahead. You know, they're just thinking like, as a woman, you should, like, you're beautiful. You seem to be smart. You seem to have it, you know, all together. Like any man would be honored to be with you. But I wouldn't be honored to be with any man.
But
so,
do they know how to honor
they
all
don't.
of this?
They sure don't, girl. They
you know
sure don't, because I've done the research. So
yeah, I definitely think it is a big part of being left alone. So today I was like on Instagram and I saw this one girl that I follow. She has a podcast, the whole thing, it's in Spanish. So she goes, you know, I've been getting a lot of the similar comments and I'm gonna talk about it now. And she goes, I'm gonna be her. So it's like if the comment was to me, she put, Nancy, ¿no te da miedo quedarte sola? Like, aren't you afraid of staying single for the rest of your life, pretty much? Because she's in her early 30s, you know. She has a whole podcast about relationships and everything, too. So she starts talking about how, yes, there is that feeling of, like, de vez en cuando, yes, of course, I there's days where I'm like, oh, you know? She's like, but I am not willing to pick the wrong partner just because I'm scared of staying by myself. She said, I don't get to pick my parents. I don't get to pick my siblings. I don't even get to pick the people I go to school with. She's like, but I do have one choice, and that's my partner. Yeah. She's like, and if that means staying single for a few more years, she's like, so be it. And if that means staying single forever, she's like, okay, it is what it is. You know? She's like, and she gave a whole example of, por ejemplo, you're going to go on a trip, right? Yeah. And it's like 10 weeks before the trip, and they call you, hey, Marianette, you know, there's going to be heavy weather. Do you still want to go to the trip? And you're like, no, pues sí, I already have my bathing suits. I have my maletas. I'm going to go. 5 weeks before the trip. Hey, Marianette, the pilot, he had something and he's not available anymore. We're just going to put you someone that just started the school. Are you still okay with just flying with that? Well, I have my bathing suit. Yes, of course I'm down. Okay. 1 week before the trip. Hey, Marianette, the hotel, it's infested. Like, I don't know if you're even going to have a home to stay at. Are you sure you still want to go? Pues sí, ya tengo todo.
I already made up my mind.
You know? And it's like, sometimes as a woman, we go, pues yo ya me vi con él. Yo ya tengo mi boda, mi perfecta boda. I'm already engaged. Everything, we already planned out how many babies. We have the names of the babies. And you start mirando al otro lado when you start seeing little things. And you dust that off under the, you know, brush that under the rug. Pues it's okay. We'll just figure it out along the way. And it's like, well, how important is your destination when you start to see all these blocks that are coming along the way? You know what I'm saying? And oh my God, I was like, oh, this is such a good topic. Yeah, and then here we are talking about it.
Because we mentioned it in another episode. I said something in regards to it. You don't even have to go that far as like being engaged, living with a person, being married, having kids. Like, we don't even have to go that far. Yeah. You could just be literally fresh in a relationship. We visualize ourselves with that person and we form this idea of the life that we're going to have with them. And so for us, it's kind of like, I can get to that, you know?
Because women, we are planners. Yeah. I don't care what any woman says. At the end of the day, our nature is to nurture and to plan and care for others. Yeah. So if you're sleeping with your partner, automatically that hormone releases that you become attached. Whether there are women and you have two baddies right here that know how to have fun without getting attached, but still, if you call that person your partner, you end up getting attached, you know?
Yeah.
Y es lo que nos dijo nuestra querida persona last week.
Yeah, la costumbre.
Porque es tan fuerte la costumbre. Help.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, just like going back to what we were discussing, and why we do it, right? Why we shrek, or why do we settle for less? A lot of the times we think that it's safe, I have been in situations where I felt, I knew, like, inside, I knew that I deserved more, or I deserved better. And for some weird reason, that they were going to understand that and acknowledge that and value and cherish me. And they didn't. I mean, not at least in the way, I mean, I still got away, I will forever be the one that got away, because they all run back.
Fate's gonna feel that way.
It don't matter if it's 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, they all come running back.
Yes, you do. And if they don't, social media tells you they are still there.
Yeah.
Just when you thought, oh, he didn't text me. Girl, check that social media. He's watching.
Listen, I don't blame you if you want to take a dip into this pond here and there. And I might be down, but not right now.
She said I might be.
Hey, if it was a good time, and if I know it was going to be a good time, I don't ever suggest or propose anything, but I know what I want, right? And I let him I lead him to the water. I never say, do you want to drink water? He just says, yeah, I'm thirsty. Can I drink some water? And I'm like, sure.
I was just thinking about that. You're so smart.
Sure. That's not what I had in mind, but since we're here.
Now that you mention it.
Drink some water. But, traga, cabrón. Ahógate. Of course, yes, sometimes we take a little step back into unhealed versions of ourselves, like Shreking, because we've defined what the term is, and aligned it to maybe our dating history, and reflect back. And it's important to do that when you're trying to do things different. Being able to look back and say, like, these are the patterns. This is where I have contributed maybe to an unhealthy relationship, because we can't control what other people do, but we can control what we do and how we react.
Right.
And even just saying, okay, there's no guidebook to say this person's not going to play you. This person's not going to lie to you. There's no playbook. You got to go into things with an open heart and an open mind.
100%.
Pero con el ojo y el oído abiertos.
Bien puestos.
And be able to say, you know what? I'm not going to shrek. I'm not going to shrek. I'm not about to be Fiona, honey. I'm dipping out.
I'm the princess.
I'm the princess. Because one of the things that happens, and that did happen to me in the past, when I have settled for less than what I want, or less than I feel that I deserve, you become out of alignment. It's not a balanced relationship, because it stems from an unhealthy place. There's still, like, your ego, by even you saying, like, I'm better than this person. You know what I'm saying? There's fear, there's control, and there's also, when we talk about the Shreking, which is, a lot of it is looks, but just in general, if we're talking about looks, we're still judging a person based on appearance, which is not okay.
Especially if that's your partner, and there's a part of you that feels like, why does
ugly people deserve love too?
The way she says it.
I mean, it's the truth. ¿Quieren que diga las cosas como son, o quieren que diga las cosas como tiptoe? But it's the truth. Like, beauty is more than the physical. But of course, it is important, because when you first meet someone,
the first thing that happens is the physical attraction. And if you don't have that physical attraction, then what are we working for? What are we doing?
Right.
I was always interested in this one man, but I never had the, like, sexual attraction. It's so interesting.
What happened to me too.
But, like, I always said I like him. I want to be with him. I want to be his girl. But when it came down to it, when I think about it, it's not like I wanted to sleep with him. Like I wasn't sexually. There was no sexual.
There was no physical chemistry
like that. No, it was more of a mental. Like he was mentally stimulating for me, and I would just like the fact that we could have conversations and banter back and forth. Like that was enough, you know. But when I stepped back and I looked, I was like, whoa. I never felt a sexual attraction.
Well, that didn't happen to me because for me, that mental stimulation is a panty dropper. Not always. Don't think because you're smart you come and talk to me, but that like because I do value that, and I think it's attractiveness when it's attractive when a man can hold intellectual conversations, or when a man cares about more things than just superficial stuff. But there was a situation with someone that physical and appearance wise, they were very good looking. And I was like, you and I could be a thing, We're both good looking, we're both fun, But I also think that person didn't feel that way about me as well.
Oh. Okay.
So, but which is weird because he will flirt with me here and there, and then I will be so confused because I'll be like, does he like me or not?
Yes, the guy will flirt with me
like
too.
He will flirt with me, and then it's like, cuando no le ponía atención, like he was trying to get my attention. Como que yo trataba, como que he like.
Yes.
So maybe that's part of the reason why I never,
Yeah,
it was never like a bucket and a mop. I don't know, like, because you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
I didn't go all the way, so I'll never.
No, I mean, no, but before.
Yeah.
I mean, because I've had situations where there's not have been any physical contact, and you feel a lot of things.
Yeah, and I don't know if that would have been
alleviation.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, physically, not a fit person. That's all I could say. Definitely not. Like maybe very much of a dad bod. And I've always I don't have a problem with a dad bod. I'm saying with
the two with the two that they had a dad bod, but
they knew what to do with it.
Listen,
but that's what I mean.
I'm still reminiscing about those moments.
Okay, I don't have those moments, but anyways, but yeah, I don't know if physically that would have been it, pero tenía mucha altura, so that kind of balanced it out because a tall man is a tall man. I don't care what you say, it can just always even itself out.
No. I'm gonna disagree with you right there because I like tall men, and you see my dating history.
Yes, she does.
Majority of the guys I've dated have been tall, but just because you're tall is not an automatic. Just like a lot of people make assumptions that I only date
I said that.
Well, you're not the only one. A lot of people have made that assumption that I only date a certain type of man, and sometimes they think that just because they're that I'm in. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, yes, I do happen to date a lot of men like that, but it's not because they're that. It just happens that we click,
By tall, I meant like no se le mira tanto la figura por medio de la altura.
Okay.
Like it even like out. No, like if it was a shorter man with that body, I would have been like, no, yeah, amigo, But I'm talking about that.
God, we are not this shallow, I promise.
No, we're not. Anyway,
my only shallow thing is the height.
See, I don't care. Okay, you're taller than me though.
Yeah, I am.
You're like 5'5".
5'5". Yeah,
I'm 5'1". I tried it with a 6'4" girl. I said never again. It was too much.
They could pick you up.
No, hombre, yo sentía parecía
and like, then when you hug them, you get on your tippy toes to put your arms around them.
6 is good. That's the highest I'll go. I won't go any further. 6'4". I was like, me sentía como su bastón, dude. I was his little cane. No. I didn't like that. And then one mofo, like we were out and he was drunk, and he literally fucking put his hand up over my head, and I was like, this is it, no more. Like these tall men sometimes, just because I'm 5'1" does not mean I will bite you. Like, and I looked at him like, you better stop. And you know what? I'm going home. Don't talk to me ever again.
My God.
It ended so quick. Like, I was like, don't you dare. Like, I don't know. I felt very disrespected. And I said, I'm going home. Don't talk to me.
Okay. I saw this meme that was like, Mexican guys be like, chaparrita. And I'm like, no, you're the chaparrito.
Well, because you're considered a tall girl. You're considered a tall Latina. Hey, I'm going to talk about a story.
No short kings.
my friend, she's not that tall. She's like my height, right? And she gave a shorty a chance.
Wait,
right?
she's like your height, and she gave a short guy a chance.
So yeah, tú sabes. So how tall was he?
What legally was he? Because
he was like, so I'm 5'1", so she's like,
he was
like 4'11", or like.
Is that a thing? 4'11" is a thing.
Yeah, girl. She gave this
short king
a chance, y'all. Homeboy, like, nice car, took her out, blah, blah, blah. And then the thing happened. Y mira mi pinky. Y mira mi pinky. And he did some nasty things there. And she was just like, you know what, girl? I said,
never again,
like,
away.
Yeah.
So what was it like? The experience was not enjoyable, or?
Si no se sentía nada, amiga. Óigame usted. Yeah.
You know what? I can't relate because I've never really had that problem.
Me neither.
God has blessed me in
God, I am
many
God's
ways.
chosen, as you say. That's why I feel like God's chosen. Pero si no, mi amiga me
but let's just be honest. Just because it's a decent sized package doesn't mean that they know what to do with it. Because I mean, that's a topic for another day.
That's another episode, yeah.
That's another episode. But going back to what we were discussing right now, right? If you start dating somebody and you start getting to know them and you see these little things that you're like, whether it's like appearance or character flaws, personality, habits, and you see it and you're like, don't overlook it.
Yeah.
Don't overlook it, because then you become resentful. Because one thing's for sure and two things for certain is that a man is not going to step up to the plate. It's very rare that a man, like now in today's time, because our expectation as women is a lot different than it was in the past,
Right. Before it was like con que te manteniera.
We as women have evolved, right, to become sufficient, independent, and men have not evolved past being providers, and some of them can't even provide. So,
you got a job?
Yeah, like some of them can't even do that, but they think that the maximum would be being a provider. But there's just like so much more than.
No, not anymore.
Yeah, but so the thing is that a lot of these negative starts brewing up if you overlook those things. So we're thinking like, what are some things that we know that now we can do different when it comes to dating that we didn't do before?
I think for me it has become having those hard conversations. Like before, I used to be really scared to be like, this is how I feel. Well, your behavior is affecting me this way. And yes, that's telling me that's a wound I still gotta take care of, because it's why is it affecting me so much?
Yeah.
Where in my everything stems from your childhood, whether we want to accept it or not, for the most part.
That's the root.
Where in my life did I start to feel this first, right? I also come from a father who's an alcoholic, so that tells me, they say children of alcoholic are sober alcoholics because we watch these behaviors, right? And what ends up happening is the child of an alcoholic picks it up, and now you are a sober one because you are behaving like one without being intoxicated. So it's like, okay.
So what are some examples of that?
Lies.
Or how do you see lies? Oh, okay.
Because someone who is an alcoholic te va a decir, I'm gonna be there for you, or I'm gonna pick you up, or I'm gonna go take you here, right? I could think of like certain things my dad would say to a little Nancy, and where it didn't happen, right? And it's like, okay, where in my life do I lie? Maybe not even to my friends or people, but to myself, because the first person you hurt is yourself. The hardest critic you have is yourself. So I go, okay, why does that bother me? So now it took a lot. I've watched a lot of podcasts, a lot of reels, those. Well, these are the top 10 questions you should ask in a relationship as soon as you get in. Like, what are your values? Your non-negotiables. So one of the things is having those tough conversations. That's one of my non-negotiables. So when adversity comes up and it's very uncomfortable to be like, hey, this, what you're doing is not okay. Yeah. And either because antes yo era de las que, okay, well, he'll change.
Without you saying anything.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like maybe he'll change. Like if I withdraw, he'll change. No, they don't change if you withdraw. They just go. She'll come back around.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I never had that issue where I don't feel like I can vocalize the things that bother me or that, I'm not okay with. My issue has been that I vocalize it and I get okay, I'm going to work on it, and you work on it for a little bit and then they revert back to doing those things again. But when you were mentioning the reason why I asked, like, what are some examples of those behaviors? Because I started thinking about my relationship with my dad. And my dad, I mean, my dad is not an alcoholic. We don't, my dad has never really been a person that abuses alcohol in that way, but his dad was an alcoholic. So right now, when you were saying that, it made me think of my dad growing up, and I do think like my dad has a lot of unhealed trauma, and that's why I do my best to give him grace. But that is, yeah, my dad is the child of an alcoholic person and a very violent person as well. So,
and I was gonna say another thing that happens as alcoholics is you change your personalities.
Yeah.
Because alcohol is is a form of a dose, so it's gonna alter you who you really are, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, most of the people that become that is because they're suppressing something.
Yeah.
So it gets to a point where they become very aggressive, right? There's AA for children of alcoholics. Yeah. I know this because my friend, she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go." My mom is one. Her mom was one, and she went to it, and I was like, "What?" At the time, I was still in denial about my own.
Yeah.
Because also part of healing that is accepting. Okay, this is who he was, and it's okay. He had his own traumas. There's a reason he became that. Yo no sé qué vida vivió. I mean, vienen de vidas de pueblos, de ranchos. It's a whole different world than ours, right? We live in our first world type of problems.
Yeah.
I gotta go get a manicure. That's
right.
They were dealing with other stuff.
I mean, they also like migrated to another country.
That in itself is such a traumatic experience. I want to say personally.
Yeah.
No hablas el idioma. You know practically, literally no one. Some people came here not knowing no one or the language. You look a different skin tone than what the people that are from here, and automatically you are put in a box.
Yeah.
Right. So all of that. Now I grew up with now I'm a daughter of that man, and he wants a better future for me. But what am I seeing at home? So you start to do the work, and you're like, why do I keep attracting this type of man? Same pattern, different body. Okay, well, let's go to the root of it. Donde empezó? Who was the first love? For every woman, their first love is their daddy. You didn't have that daddy. That's your first trauma right there.
And we said in the past, we said that we were going to have an episode to talk about that. And we wanted to get perspective from other people, like maybe women that didn't grow up with a dad, and how do they feel that affected their lives. And maybe also women that they feel like they did have a healthy and protective relationship with their father, and maybe how that impacted their life. Because that's a lot of the work that I've done, when it comes to relationships and dating. And I normalized and I tolerated certain things because that's what I saw in my dad.
Yes, of course. And that is so normal. Yeah. And once you start healing, it feels like we're shrinking because it's like, wait, pero didn't I do all this work for me to like have all these standards? And then you see one little red flag and you're like, well, I'm just gonna, because everything else is there. But it's like, okay, what is, I always say, have your 5 non-negotiables that no matter what, you're like, if esto no está, I'm not looking no matter what.
Yeah, and that's very important. I'm glad that you brought it up, because before you're out there trying to be with somebody, you need to understand who you are, understand, like you said, what are your non-negotiables, what are things that you're not going to tolerate, the things that you're not completely against it, but you're like, I'm not really sure. Just being able to have that in the back of your head, because girls and fellas, if you're watching, nos apendejamos. Claro. That's the reality. Nos apendejamos. Like, girl, it feels good, and we wanna, like
sweet talk you.
I'm talking all this shit right now, but a fine shit might come around the corner and make me feel things.
Like, what's up, girl?
I might be like,
I'm
fuck
6
all the
feet
healing
tall.
I've done. You know what I'm saying?
No,
fuck
she
the
did
healing.
not. And then
take me on this wall ride.
y'all. And then we're gonna come to the podcast, and I'm gonna be like, check her ass, check her, put her on check. You know?
Yeah.
No, this podcast keeps us grounded, y'all.
It keeps us grounded, and I think it's so important that it's also part of our healing journey, because this is a way we get to look back and say, this is the life I want to live, and I want to do things different, and I want to have a better life, and I want to be happy. And even filming today, right, we were like,
y'all, it was
the energies have been low. I mean, obviously there's a lot going on right outside our doors, across the country, you know, in the world. So it's heavy. It's really heavy. But every time we do this, like, it just kind of like gets us back.
It feels good.
Yeah,
again.
It feels good. It's like they charge our battery.
Yes,
sense, you know.
And let me say, okay, let's say you go single for 1, 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, whatever, and you've done all this healing. You're like, yo no me voy a dejar, and you go, okay, but I want to give my, and someone comes along the way and you give them a chance. It's okay if you're in it and you start to see those red flags and you start to put them to the side, and then a month or two later you go, you know what, no,
Yeah,
it's okay to that it takes maybe 5 months, 6 months to really like settle in and go, I'm not gonna shrink, you know, because sometimes maybe at the beginning you'll be like, well, va a cambiar, you know, and it's okay to then realize it later and be like, okay, well, shit, I still am not pregnant by this man, we do not have a ring, so I can go back.
No, if you have a ring, if you married, and if you have a child, you can still change your mind.
Yeah, you can have all of that.
Because a lot of times I feel like that's the stop for a lot of women.
You know what? Don't let that be a stop. Elizabeth Taylor got married 9 times, twice to the same man, and homegirl did not settle. She had the best jewelry collection.
Girl, never turned down a gift, never turned down money, never.
No, I got all that, but I had to like pause and really be like, wait, do I really want this though? Like, let me start looking at the other stuff.
Oh yeah,
and that's where I saw certain stuff like the controlling thing, and I was like,
no.
Honey, of course you want to control.
The control thing for me is funny because I've dated some people that they don't show it, but over time I realize and understand that that is one of their ulterior motives.
Of course,
I feel like I think in theory I'm good, you know. Yeah. In theory, I'm like, yes, a man sees me and they say beautiful women, smart, you know, caring. They see amazing and they say, I want, you know, I'm a siren. They want to catch that fish.
Como el meme del este wolf con los ojitos así que se le salen.
Yeah, así, very much
la lengua por fuera.
Yes, very much that. Like, that's the energy that men give me. But once they come on and they're like, once I let them in, I think they realize that they cannot step up to the plate. And that I am a type of woman that I will hold you accountable. Yeah. You know, I am that type of woman. Maybe it doesn't seem like it from the outside. I don't know. But I am very much like, aquí mis charrones truenan.
And that's what I meant by speaking up for me. Yeah. Because now I won't let it just slide one more time. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, now I'm able to have that conversation, be like, no, you said ABC and I expect ABC. Where is it?
Right.
You know, and before, like I said, I've worked a lot on my voice, my throat chakra, for that specific reason of speaking up. Yeah. So that is a big thing that now that I'm in my new version, that I'm like, you know, going back into the field, I would say, and giving it a shot. I'm like, whoa, I can see where I'm being a little like, okay, so did you do your healing? Yeah. Are you really down to really like press this? Or are you going to go back to your old ways? Right. Because those old habits come back so quick, y'all.
One thing that I know I can think of right now that I've been practicing, or I've been putting into practice the few times that I've been out there. I'm not gonna sit here and walk you through it. I'm not gonna have a conversation with you and walk you through it. I'm not going to dig to try to understand or figure out what you're feeling or what you're thinking. ahorita estoy como que, you want this? X, Y, and Z, and I need to see it. I need to hear it. I shouldn't even have a moment where I question
if you want
this.
Yeah.
Because I have done that in the past. Like, I've given men the opportunity to be like, but what do you feel like this? What are you going through? Like, just being understanding, I would say. Pero es que se pasan. First of all, if you're going through it, then go through it by yourself and come back when you're
better.
When you're better. Because I'm not your mom, and I think I'm not a therapist, and I think a lot of the times, from what my experience has been, from what I see women around me, we become mothers to our men. We want to fix their problems. We want to do all of that stuff. Like, no, I am not fixing anybody's problems but my own. And if I have a man, you should be fixing my problems. And if you have a problem with that, then go get yourself a man so they can fix your problems.
Mic drop.
Bam.
With that being said, you are also in charge of choosing, ladies and men out there, because at the end of the day, you have the power to say yes or no. You pick them.
Yeah.
You can have 5 guys all courting you. They don't even know they're courting you at the same time. Have them court you, take you out.
Let them know so that they can compete.
I was watching a TikTok.
How bad do you want it?
Yes, I saw a TikTok and the girl said, I invited all my 3 guys that like are interested. Let the best one win, you know?
Oh my God.
Like, tuvo una fiesta, le llevaron banda, flores, and she's like, they on you.
Yeah, but being chosen is it's something that I think as women we enjoy
it.
Well, being chosen, we romanticize it. But no, ladies, start choosing. And I don't mean like you see a guy down the street and you're gonna go up to him. No. Just like from the men that come to court you or to try to talk to you, start looking at those things and start, observing their behaviors and figure out like this is not something that I really am too okay with. So I'm gonna kind of like, doesn't mean you have to stop talking to them right away. It's really up to you. But really, I'm gonna step back a little bit because I'm, getting too invested and I'm overlooking certain things that I'm not okay with. So yeah, you want to choose because the goal is not a relationship. The goal is a healthy relationship. A lot of the times, and I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say this for the women. A lot of women, they think that having a boyfriend or a husband or a fiance or having a man is a flex.
Oh, girl, no, nowadays it's not. I was watching on social media.
By the look of all the unhealthy relationships around us, you clearly think that being with that man is a flex because why are you still there?
Okay, well, maybe. But I was reading an article and they're saying nowadays, millennials, women, having a boyfriend is almost like que vergüenza. Like, I messed up. Like, they hide the boyfriend because it's like, oh my God, it's like a low ball kind of thing to do because it's a new generation and women are very hyper independent. They are very successful. They're doing really well off. Oh, but she has a boyfriend. It's almost like I'm gonna find it. It's on TikTok.
Find it and send it to me.
And I'm gonna send it to you.
Listen, from what I see around me, a lot of women think that just because they have a man that they've been chosen and that they're doing good, but they're not in good relationships.
Do your healing, make your wise choices, have your list, know what you really want, knowing your standards, because at the end of the day, this all connects because who had the power to make the choice?
The girl.
The woman. Not the men. Yeah. The men are like...
But we give men too much power. Too much power. Because we're more emotional than men are. And, we all have like our Achilles or what is
Achilles heel?
Yeah, we all have it, And some partners, they're able to get to that like soft spot about us that make us be like, let me hold on a little bit more, let me give it more time, let me after this conversation, things are going to be different. But let me tell you guys something. You have that conversation more than once, it's not going to change. Like that is the truth. It's not going to change, or at least you are not going to make him change. That person has to want to change, because they have to understand what that behavior is, how that behavior is affecting them, and how that behavior is affecting you
and the relationship.
Yeah, because I see it a lot, and I went through that in previous relationships where I had the same conversation over and over and over, and then you start to rationalize it, right? Because you say, okay, we've gone a longer period without having to have this conversation.
Oh, I see what
you know what I'm saying. We've had he made changes. He's trying. No, he's not trying, because if he was trying, he would do it. And sometimes it's just about it doesn't mean like the person is a bad person, or it's a failure of yours, like a personal failure, but people are going to change the things about themselves when they are ready to do it, not because of you, not because of anything else.
And if you have done more work on yourself than them, look, by nature, whether you want to accept it or not, if you are more conscious and aware of your behaviors, of your trauma, everything you are feeling, and they are not at that level, there is nothing you can do if they are not willing to do that work.
Yeah.
You date within your trauma.
Yeah.
I saw it on a podcast.
Yeah.
This like doctor, therapist, she said, you meet, like, Marianette's single right now, right? She's gonna meet.
Am I? I'm just
when she's out there, she's gonna meet whoever she meets is gonna be at the same level of trauma as her. What does that mean? You can no longer date a man who hasn't done that work.
No, I cannot.
Because you have already.
I cannot.
And so now you're gonna meet a man that's at that same level as you.
Yeah.
And if you continue to do that work, and he says, no, pero yo me siento bien aquí, guess what's gonna happen? There's gonna be that unbalance again.
Yeah.
And now if you both are doing it together as a partnership, then you're both growing up.
Yeah.
Together. But it's them. Si no puede cambiar él, cámbialo tú a él.
Yeah.
Así de fácil.
Yeah, because it's not your job, or it's not your responsibility to heal anyone or to change anyone, or
even if you're certified, don't try.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not for
first
you.
Of all, no,
it's not for you.
Yeah, it's not. Okay, well, we have a little affirmation.
Fear does not guide my dating life.
Fear does not guide my dating life.
Clarity and intuition does.
Clarity and intuition does.
All right, Baddie. Catch you next time. Don't forget to turn on your notifications so you do not miss a single episode.
And don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. And send this video to one of your baddie friends.
Or 10.
10.
Or us.
Or 100. I mean, you know what? Just send it to everybody.
Everybody, all your contacts, okay? Yeah. All right, baddies. Have a good one. Catch you next time. Bye.